Hare Krishna. Today we are going to hear about the deliverance of King Muchukunda. Now, when Dwarka was fully constructed as per the plan of Lord Krishna transferred all the inhabitants of Mathura during the attack of two formidable forces. One was from Kalyavan and the other one was the 18th attack of King Jarasandha. After transferring all the inhabitants, Lord Krishna came out of the city carrying no weapons in hand. Kalyavan, who had never seen Krishna before, found him extraordinarily beautiful, dressed in yellow garment. Kalyavan was even fortunate to see the lines of Srivatsa, a particular impression on the chest of Lord Krishna, and the Kaustuva jewel Krishna was wearing. He saw Krishna in his Vishnu form with four hands and eyes like the petals of a blooming lotus, with a beautiful smiling face and moving earrings. Before seeing Krishna, Kalyavan had heard about him from sage Narada, and now he was sure that he is Lord Krishna, as per every description he had heard from sage Narada. Kalyavan was astonished to see Krishna passing by him without any weapons in his hands and without a chariot. He was walking by foot. Kalyavan had actually come to fight with Krishna with so many soldiers. But when he found Krishna alone, without any weapon or chariot, he decided to fight with him hand to hand. Krishna went ahead without looking at Kalyavan, so Kalyavan kept on following him in order to capture him. Krishna kept on going forward. Kalyavan began running fast in order to capture him. Finally, Krishna led him far away and entered the cave of a hill. Kalyavan thought Krishna was trying to avoid to fight, so he was taking shelter of the cave. He said, "Oh Krishna, you are a great hero born in Yadu dynasty, but you are running away from fighting. This doesn't suit you." Saying this, he ran very fast behind Krishna, but could not catch Krishna. Krishna suddenly disappeared from the demon's sight and Kalyavan entered into the cave. The first thing that he saw was a man lying down asleep within the cave. Kalyavan was eager to fight with Krishna, and when he could not see Krishna but instead saw only a man lying down, he thought Krishna was sleeping, avoiding to fight. Proud of his strength, he kicked the sleeping man, thinking him to be Krishna. The sleeping man had been lying down for a very long time. When awakened by the kicking of Kalyavan, he immediately opened his eyes and began to look around in all directions. At last, he saw Kalyavan standing nearby. The sleeping man was untimely awakened, so he was very angry. And when he looked at Kalyavan in his angry mood, rays of fire came out of his eyes and burnt Kalyavan into ashes within a moment. Actually, the sleeping man was King Muchukunda, born in the very great family of King Ikshvaku, in which Lord Ramachandra was born, and he was the son of King Mandhata. He was a great soul and was a very powerful and truthful king. He was so powerful that even demigods like Indra used to ask him to help in fighting with the demons. He often fought against the demon and protected the demigods. The commander in chief of the demigods, Kartikeya, was very satisfied with the service of King Muchukunda and requested him to ask for a boon other than the benediction of liberation. King Muchukunda had not slept for many years as he was busy in fighting, so he was very tired. He replied, "I want to sleep now, so kindly grant me the power to burn to ashes by my mere glance anyone who disturbs my sleep and awakens me untimely." The demigod Kartikeya agreed, and then King Muchukunda entered the cave of the mountain to take rest. On the strength of the benediction of Kartikeya, King Muchukunda had burnt Kalyavan into ashes simply by glancing at him. Lord Krishna actually had entered the cave to deliver King Muchukunda. When Lord Krishna appeared before King Muchukunda, King Muchukunda saw him dressed in yellow garment, chest marked with the symbol of Srivatsa and Kaustuva jewel hanging around the neck. Lord Krishna appeared before him with 4 hands with garlands of Vaijayanti hanging from his neck down to his knees. Lord glanced at King Muchukunda with great affection. King Muchukunda, being a pure devotee of the Lord, could immediately understand that Lord Krishna had appeared before him. Lord Krishna said, I have come here to fulfill your desires. You can ask me any benediction you wish. I will fulfill. Lord said, anyone who comes under my shelter must have all his desires fulfilled. King Muchukunda fell down at Lord's lotus feet and began to pray. I want to take shelter of your lotus feet, which are the source of a peaceful life. I don't want to enjoy this materialistic world. To which Lord Krishna replied, my dear king, I am very pleased with your statement. You've been the king of all lands on this planet, but I am surprised to find that your mind is freed from all material contamination. So you are fit to execute devotional service. He then said, you engage your mind in bhakti yoga and thus become free from all sinful reactions of your past life. The Lord also assured that in his next birth he will take birth as a first class Vaishnava, completely engaged in the welfare activities of all living entities. The highest welfare activity for all living entities is the preaching of Krishna consciousness. When King Muchukunda was favored by Lord Krishna, he circumambulated the Lord within the cave and then he came out. Coming out, he noticed that human beings and trees had all reduced in size. He understood that yugas have changed, as he was the king of Satya Yuga. Treta Yuga had passed, Dwapara Yuga was at the verge of ending, Kali Yuga was to start. Then he began to travel northwards and reached a mountain known as Gandhamadana. He decided to remain there and execute austerities and penances for rest of his life there. Gandhamadana mountain is the northwest part of the Himalayan mountain. Hare Krishna.